In June this year, the combined dam levels were below 12%. A day zero was looming. Almost 40% of the metro face the reality of living without water or having limited water. The municipality counted on the public to restrict water use to 50 litres per person a day, so that access to some water from the dams can be retained. The metro was in the 7th year of a harsh and devastating drought, and in January recorded the driest month yet. With a lot of anxiety in the air and the fear of day zero, national government visited the metro to assist.
I saw the pictures that were shown a few days ago of day zero, making reference to one of the dams. And the implication was that it is now day zero in the whole of the municipality. It's not like that. And that is what we're pinning our work, our hope, the knowledge of our scientists that we're working with here, that we will prevent day zero.
Residents were urged to use 230 megalitres per day. Part of the big problem, however, was water leaks, with the metro losing 30% of its water due to leaks. Communal taps were installed should taps run dry. Left with no other choice, the national government again paid the metro a visit, this time to get all hands on deck to avert day zero. The installation of boreholes was one of the plans put into place. Months later, 120 boreholes were drilled by the private sector and non-profit organizations. Even the president came to evaluate the extent of work done by the national and local governments.
Very impressed with the work that they are doing in terms of pushing back the 0 day and making sure that they campaign amongst our people to conserve water, to stop the leaks, and to make sure that we do add to the resources of water in this metro here. The steps that are being taken are quite impactful, and I do believe that we will continue to push back day zero up to the point where we will no longer really need to talk about water shortage here. Of course, the drought that has persisted for 7 years has just made things worse, and the climate change is having an adverse effect also here.
The leaks, which were a huge problem, were eventually closed. But even with this done, the water wars of the metro were not a thing of the past. One of the worstly affected areas was Boreholes in Karigam. Someone who felt and still feels the brunt of it all is Nonzokazi Brent. This is the only source of water for this family of 7. To have sufficient water for household use, they have to place containers under this tap daily. It takes hours to fill. When it is full, the water is stored in bigger containers because there's no telling when the taps will go completely dry again. Nonzwakazi Brent is one of many residents in Boreholes in Karigam who has experienced the horror of empty taps. Over the past couple of months, residents here have had to rely on water trucks when taps went completely dry for close to 5 months. While the water supply has been restored for some residents, Brent and her family have not been so lucky.
It's very tough not to have water. It's really painful to live like this. Water is so scarce, and there's nothing we can do without water. We get worried when it doesn't rain, because when it used to rain, we will stand outside in the rain and try and get as much water as possible.
Residents say although water has been restored, the fear of having empty taps again is still a day-to-day reality.
There is no surety that the water will be back, like it is now. Most people live in fear, and most people have got water containers which they used to store as much water in, as and when water is available.
We do have
fear that the water can go again, and we don't know when it will come back, so we live in fear.
And it seems that even those who live on the urban side of the friendly city were feeling the water challenges too. Having only moved to Gqeberha 6 months ago, Albie Betantoe has had to quickly adjust to life on this side of the world. Key to it all is quickly buying water tanks. The only shot at her family averting day zero.
It's been very scary to constantly hear on the radio that there's going to be no water, and if you look at what they are doing to help with the water taps next to the road, that's very scary. It has affected us in terms of low pressure, and obviously if you hear on Facebook people talking about there's no water, you're experiencing it. But what we've done is we've got water tanks. We've got 2 5,000 litre water tanks. Obviously we are praying for rain, and then that we have water.
With the festive season now in full swing, the municipality has called on residents, business establishments and holidaymakers to adopt a water-saving lifestyle as they enjoy the festive season in Nelson Mandela Bay. The Boreholes Dam, one of the Metro's main supply dam, is nearly empty at below 8% of capacity. The Metro also consumes more than the current restriction stipulated at 230 megalitres per day. And now with holidaymakers in the Metro, the focus is on responsible use.
Our combined dam levels are sitting at 15.83, and that means we are still in the middle of drought. And I think there is still a high possibility that we can run out of water. Going into the festive season, obviously, as well as the hottest weather of the year, we are hoping that around February, March, we're going to actually be in deep trouble once again.
The hospitality industry has not been sitting idle. The prolonged drought pushed them to make contingency plans.
The first time we had any water restrictions was in December 2016. So they've been 6 years for bed and breakfasts and businesses to actually implement and get in other means of having water, whether it's rain harvesting and the tanks pumping in, whether it's boreholes. So I think for most businesses, they have made those arrangements so that the water is not the issue, and we really would like our guests to come. However, everybody needs to know that we are in a crisis and that they need to partner with us and use water sparingly and not have long showers, not take baths at all.
The Metro may have averted day zero, but the Water Services Department will remain on high alert to respond to leaks and other water-related issues. Lerato Fekisi, SABC News, Gqeberha.